What's the most ridiculous, effed up thing you've done for money? NSFW. More ridiculous, but I took a shot of vinegar for $20. Had it halfway down my throat when the guy said he was kidding and didn't think anyone would do it. In the end, he gave me what he had in his wallet, a single dollar. I have it in my nightstand and refer to it as the vinegar dollar. I chugged hot dog water at a frat cookout for $150 once. In high school, I worked at an automatic car wash. It was a touch-free system, but the sensors failed a lot and would misjudge the length of the cars. The padded arm would hit the vehicles all the time. It was cheaper to pay an idiot to stand with his hand on the emergency shutoff all day getting sprayed in the face with hot mist than to fix the sensors. It was a long, hot summer for this idiot. I had a guy send me $150 so he could send his own dick pics to me for a week. In my high school chemistry class, I drank about half a bottle of imitation vanilla extract for $20. It was awful going down, but my breath smelled like heaven and greatness afterwards. Showed my pee-pee in 4th grade for $5. No regrets. I, mid-20s male, was a bartender at Pretty Divey Bar in my hometown for a little while after college. It was run by an alcoholic speed freak and his well-meaning but not at all bar business savvy wife. It was a disaster of all sorts, but I needed money and the commute was short. Anyway, after 6 months of fairly slow business, they instituted Ladies' Night on Wednesday. Cheap drink specials and male dancers. The dancers were B-Squad Chippendale dancer types, but the 50-year-old housewives loved it and they dropped cash, both in my jar and down the dancers' pants. Now, we didn't have the license to go nude, so the gents just went to tight, tiny shorts. Well, as far as ideas went, it wasn't bad. After a month of these, we were getting in 25 to 30 extra bodies in the door on otherwise dead Wednesdays. Our few regulars, a bunch of male UPS drivers just coming off shift, just sat facing away from the stage and would randomly hook up with heated-up ladies. Well, one day the dancer didn't show. I don't know if it was traffic or if his spirit finally broke, but he was more than an hour late and not picking up the phone when we called. The ladies were drunk and it was getting a little ugly. The owners, myself and my female bar back, were at a loss as to what to do. We didn't want to lose what little business we had built up, but we didn't have anyone to dance. We jokingly even asked the UPS guys if one was willing to do a special delivery in exchange for free drinks. They weren't drunk enough to take up our cause. So, I stepped up and decided to do it myself. I'm not an ugly guy, but I am definitely not in the shape that people would pay to see undressed. I also have a negative sense of rhythm. I can't even clap in time. Elaine Van Ness dances better than me. But the show must go on. I took a shot of Jack for courage, threw on the Tesla CD that someone had left in the sound system and took the stage. Fortunately, the ladies were drunk enough that they cheered me on as I awkwardly gyrated and shook my ass. I threw my shirt at them and whipped my belt above my head while wearing Red Wing service shoes. It was ridiculous. Still, I went the whole way and worked the audience by dancing on a couple of laps. I was groped, and money was put down my Dickies work pants. A couple of 50-year-olds had my crotch thrown at their face while they screamed with joy. I did 2 songs before I took a bow and wandered off stage, out of breath. It was pathetic, but enough to soothe the beast of their desire. They were back the next week to see the new dancer we hired, and they smiled and tipped extra for the rest of my run at that bar. I made $25, and it is the $25 I am least proud of. I mean, it's not fucked up, but I ended up getting paid $100 to pretty much adopt one of my cats since the person I was watching her for ghosted me. My older brother used to keep his porno mags at the very top shelf of my closet. Perfect place where nobody could reach and my mother would never look. One day I had discovered them while my little boyfriends were over playing in 64, tomboy little sister here FYI. So of course, they all started fighting over it and asked if they could take certain pages. So I requested $1 per page, and that quickly moved on up to $5/page. Word got around recess that I was hustling porno pages for cash. Racked up some good dollar that year for a 10-year-old. Brother had no idea and obviously couldn't ask his little sister where his mags were. It was the perfect hustle. When I was 8 years young, I pissed in the sink at school for $1. He did not pay me the $1. And then, he told on me. I really needed that dollar too. Kid I knew ate all the pencil shavings in sharpener for a nickel. A fucking nickel. I wrote term papers and research papers for $20 per page for rich idiots when I was in college. I could have been expelled if I was caught. And I realized later that I probably should have been charging way more since I was earning degrees for other people who now probably make way more money than I do. I sent nudes to a guy with some unusual fetishes. Eventually he offered me $60 for a video of a close-up of me pooping, and I actually considered for a good while. Instead, I just quit. Edit, I forgot to mention. But he also offered me the same payment, but for a close-up of me farting. Drank canola oil for $6. Said I'd do it for $5 as a joke. Someone put $6 on the table and I couldn't back out. Threw up. But spent the money on 2 Mountain Dews and a Slim Jim to wash away my shame. 2/10. Wouldn't do again. Not me. But my friend wanted COD Black Ops 2 to play with me. So she had sex with this guy who was borderline obsessed with her in exchange for the money to buy the game. I still give her flack over this. Edit, I personally didn't offer this deal for 2 reasons. 1. I was in a committed relationship at the time, and 2. I had like no damn money to even buy her it, lol. Fought in the Middle East. LOL. Sigh. Wrote furry fetish erotica. Grad school. Not me, but my friend. I helped him with it, so I think I can tell it. Long story short, he was catfishing some dudes into thinking he was an attractive woman and managed to get a guy who offered a good amount of money for feet pics. Very specific feet pics. Cue us spending the rest of a Saturday afternoon getting baked, shaving my friend's legs below the knee, painting his toes, raiding our roommate's shoe rack, with her consent OFC, and taking these very specific feet pics for this dude. Money was sent later that evening. Pretty much paid for weed for our apartment for the semester. Sold my lunch to a fat hungry kid for $5 in grade 5. He even raised the bid many times starting from $1. Never seen the money for 20 years. I sold somebody a dime bag of oregano with some stems and seeds in it, and they came back to buy more. I work at a gas station. So that. Let my friend hit me on my bare ass with a 1-inch in diameter wooden curtain rod. It hurt to sit a certain way for a few days, but money. We paid a kid $10 to lick a petri dish that had some sort of food-borne illness on it in biology class. He spent a week in the hospital. Teach 16 weeks of a college class for $1,600. No benefits as an adjunct. The F** kid up thing is I care about doing a good job for these students. I sold someone a Dodge Journey on more than one occasion. Spent 9 hours a day 5 days a week doing activities I don't enjoy to make a company I don't care about more money than I could ever dream of having. Okay, I was a bad child, but this guy was kind of dick and deserved this, and that will be explained farther down. I poured sewage waste from my dogs on his porch. I got $60 for it. Guy used to shoot us in the leg with fake bullets that hurt like hell and would also shoot me and my friend's dogs. And if he is somehow on Reddit and sees this, fuck you for using your height against 12-year-olds and their dogs. I'm a medical student. My worst was a fecal disimpaction. Literally using your fingers to break up and pull out shit from a guy's rectum. Super painful for the patient and smelled horrendous. Oh, and I pay almost $60. 000 a year for the opportunity to do this, lol. I had an entire brown onion in hospitality class. Junior high. About halfway through I felt like I was about to throw up and no one wanted to speak to me, my breath was that bad. However, I did go and spend that $5 on a meat pie. Totally worth it. Not me specifically, but I accompanied a friend who was paid $250. 00 to attend one of those free house flipping seminars and sabotage it at the conclusion. I was just asked to film it on my phone as proof. We both signed up with fake names. My friend advised everyone it was a huge scam to get everyone to pay $2,000 for the next class, and then advised everyone at the conclusion of that class they would want $10,000 for the next class. I guess the guy who paid him was ripped off by this program. Everyone was mortified, but I think it served its purpose, and I don't think anyone was scammed that day, and my friend paid my BARTA that night. Damn, good times. When I was a waiter, we had a bucket of mayo on the line that basically never got used. It would build a thick yellow crust throughout the morning shift that we would skim off before the night shift. My buddy owed me $40. So I told him if he ate an entire spoonful of the mayo crust before the night shift, I'd call it even. He did it. And looked like hell all night. Totally worth it. We stayed lifelong friends and were groomsmen at each other's weddings nearly a decade later. Drawing furry porn. He paid well. Aircraft mechanic. Spent the first stint of my career with my arm shoved down a lavatory hole for $15 an hour. Scooping out handfuls of shit and other excrement is a memory burned into me. Being hunched over, you have to scoop it out at mouth level, and sometimes the flapper would close real hard and spray chunks onto you. 10/10, will never ever do that again. Don't care if it costs me every job I get from now on. Not me, but my dad. When he was a kid, his friend's mom called him and told him their dog had been hit by a car and she wanted him to come put it out of its misery. He was 14 and it was a boring summer, so he grabbed his shotgun, which he just had, I guess. 80s were different times, and went over to help out his friend. He then took his friend to the arcade and the movies with the money he got. Dipped my balls in soy sauce for $3. I did not get $3. Donated plasma to make rent and got super sick because I was battling an infection I didn't know I had at the time. Only got $150 from the clinic for the plasma, but I'm still paying a $700 medical bill for blood work and fluids LMAO. Work 20 hours straight with no breaks. I'm pretty desperate for cash right now. We can find out together. Drank a bowl of ghost pepper Diablo sauce for $15 at the Mexican restaurant I work at. Spent an hour in the bathroom with tears streaming down my face and my tongue